Rick Tocchet reveals the truth on why he chose to leave the Vancouver Canucks, and this may shock a lot of fans. We're going to break down Rick Tocchet's comments, quotes from Jim Rutherford, and much more, which you're not going to want to miss out on, including the major implications this has on the Vancouver Canucks moving forward. Before we get into that, if you're enjoying this daily Canucks content, make sure to go down and hit that free subscribe button. With that, Griffin, let's just hop straight into the first topic today, where we do know Jim Rutherford came out today and said Rick Tocchet has decided to not return as the head coach for the upcoming season. We can see that this is a decision made on Rick Tocchet's behalf, which a lot of fans already knew at this point. If you missed the video we did on this report, go down and check that out as well. But with this, we've seen some quotes from Jim Rutherford coming from this. After a long and thorough process, unfortunately, Rick has decided to leave the Vancouver Canucks. He continues on to say, "This is very disappointing news, but we respect Rick's decision to move to a new chapter in his hockey career. We did everything in our power to keep him, but at the end of the day, Rick felt he needed a change." Now, there were multiple reports coming out from this as well, where we did see Cam Robinson of elite prospects go as far as saying, "I'm told the Canucks' offer to Rick Tocchet would have made him one of the highest paid coaches in the league. Money wasn't the issue." And this was backed up from Downey and Dolly, been told the Canucks made Rick Tocchet a terrific offer, very solid, and one that would consider a top offer around the league. Tocchet just felt like it was time for a change. Now, Griffin, we know how much this Canucks team went through all this year. Fans, we went through this as well. What is your initial thoughts on just these reports coming out that the Canucks offered everything they could, but Rick Tocchet still rejected?
Well, it's very clear that money can't buy you happiness, Mark. And that was very much the case in point here with Vancouver. Almost seems like it'll be the case with Brock Boeser as well, too, because he's wanting term more than money and they won't give him that. So now, as far as Rick Tocchet is concerned, money not being the issue, that goes to show that Rick Tocchet won't just take a massive paycheck in order to stay for a team if he wants a change of scenery, if he wants a different team, if he wants a new fit. And that is what he doubled down on today and stood on business. So I got to respect him for that as on its own. Just it sucks for us because we're the ones that have to suffer for it in a season where we did a lot of suffering, and we got a lot more suffering coming up as well in free agency when we lose Brock Boeser, and probably in a year or so from now when we eventually lose Connor Garland, because he is almost like Rick Tocchet's shadow. He follows him everywhere he goes, and not in a bad way either. He gets better and better everywhere he goes and gets better with Rick Tocchet. So it's going to be an unforeseen conclusion that he will be gone at the end of his contract and go to wherever Tocchet is going. So that's another, just adds more insult to injury for the Canucks. So overall, it's a very bad day to be a Canucks fan, but we just got to push forward and go on to the future. However, it does go to show that Vancouver was willing to make that investment into him. We haven't seen them make an investment into a coach with a lot of term and a lot of money to go with it, and they were willing to do that for Tocchet. It just wasn't right for Tocchet. So it's a case of it's not you, it's me kind of thing.
And I mean, listen, we know Rick Tocchet wanted to go back home, it feels like. We see the reports coming out. Philly was a strong candidate to land Rick Tocchet. So with this, we do see quotes coming from Rick Tocchet himself on just declining the offer. He said, "I'm choosing to move on from the Vancouver Canucks. Family is priority. And with my contract lapsing, this became the perfect opportune time." Now listen, I'm not going to hate on the guy for wanting to take his family for top priority. Everyone should do this. Over your job, your friends, everything else, family is number one. And I respect his decision, wanting to do this. But leaving the Canucks in the situation after we've seen management reports, everything coming out, that they were willing to make him one of, if not the highest paid coach in the NHL, this does hurt from a fan's perspective. Looking at this, a lot of people are very split in the middle. Rick Tocchet had a system. We know his system. This was a system of dump and chase hockey, which always didn't work. Let's be honest. We've seen the production drop a little bit. We've seen the team kind of struggle, but injuries were a big thing. The feuds happening. Rick Tocchet wasn't the full blame, but seeing him move on does hurt as a Canucks fan. We see Rick Tocchet continue on, saying, "While I don't know where I'm headed or exactly how this will play out for me over the near term, I feel like this is the right time for me to explore other opportunities in and around hockey." So it does seem like Rick Tocchet is very dead set on, yes, he's going to coach again. We could see this on the Flyers, the Penguins, the Bruins. There's so many teams out east, closer to his family, that he may end up going to. And just, Griffin, kind of throwing it to you here now. Do you think Rick Tocchet, we've seen him go out and say, "Hey, I'm not going to coach Team Canada this year. I need a break. This season was a lot. The writing was on the wall. We knew there was a strong chance he was going, But do you think the Canucks can kind of build off this, go get a coach that is more offensive oriented, someone that can help exceed what we want with this offensive group, while also keeping everyone happy? Because we know how much Quinn Hughes loved Rick Tocchet, and that kind of spoils a little help with the management as well.
I think Quinn Hughes is someone you have to include in those conversations if that's what they're going to do. And I know a lot of people, because of what happens in the NFL with Aaron Rodgers and all that happening, people get very concerned about a top player or a captain being involved in front office moves or wanting to work on roster acquisitions. However, in the case of Quinn Hughes, generational talent, the next Bobby Orr, basically, the franchise star of this team, that is somebody that you want to have in those conversations as far as who that next head coach will be. And I guarantee they will have him in those conversations. It's someone that you have to rally behind. And even Elias Pettersson, bring him in on those situations. Have a conversation with the players. Say, hey, go to the top guys, the ones that are wearing the letters on their jerseys. You go to them and say, hey, who do you want to see, or what type of coach do you want to see come in here? What type of coach would help you best as a player? And it seems like Rick Tocchet's dump and chase style of hockey was not the style of hockey for these players on the Canucks. So whatever they tell him and whatever they say as far as the type of coach they want to bring in, you got to listen to that. In our defensive core, we're fine how we are right now. I'm not too worried there. So dump and chase hockey isn't necessarily something that this Canucks team needs to play every single game. We have offensive goal scorers and we know how to share the puck around. A lot of our guys can score. Kiefer Sherwood was one of our top goal scorers this year. Connor Garland as well. Was a lot of that because of injuries and our top 6 guys being out? Yes. However, this is a team that knows how to score. We have natural goal scorers on our team. We're a team that even in our great season 2 seasons ago, we had multiple guys getting to that 30 goal mark. We had multiple guys having career seasons, reaching different milestones that they hadn't reached before. And with this Canucks team as well, having a lot of scoring that we hadn't seen in the franchise in quite some time. So yes, this is a team that has natural goal scorers. We need to go out and get a coach that knows how to get goal scoring on the board as much as possible. And like you said last video, hopefully Tampa just burns it all to hell and we can just bring in John Cooper.
And I mean, the biggest thing is Rick Tocchet. Oh, I thought I had to quote there. He went out to thank the fans. He wanted to thank everyone for keeping them on his toes. Was the big one. He wanted to give a shout out to the community, the coaching staffs, management, everyone between. And listen, I know the big thing is we want to point fingers. This is the big thing where this happen between the feud of Petey and Miller, kind of made the rift happen between Tocchet and the rest of the team. Maybe we know that Tocchet wants to get close to his family. The reports are even coming out. He was offered the money. So this is in the one instance that I'll ever say this. Listen, I think the Canucks ownership, for lack of better terms, is crap. We know the owners of this group won't buy new seats, practice facility, but that's for a different video. But I don't think this one was actually on them. I think they were willing to pay, but Rick Tocchet wanted to leave this team, which does suck. It kind of feels like a breakup with someone that a lot of fans liked, a lot of fans disliked, but it shows the future is going to be a lot different. And maybe the Canucks want to go in the direction of being more offensive motivated, where they can go out, get a guy that's going to bring the Canucks up to 4 goals per game, maybe get Petey back to his 100-point form. What's your guys' thoughts on this? Did you like Rick Tocchet's system? I know it's very split down the middle. What coach would you love to see come in to replace him? We're going to do a complete video on that as well. So if you want to go leave comments, we'll cover that as well. But that'd be it for this episode of Canucks Digest. If you enjoyed it, go leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back with another episode, so keep your eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark Pye, with my co-host, Griffin, and take care.